Yo, what's good, y'all? You dub back here again here in 2019. Let's get it, bring y'all more new, fresh content. Now, it didn't occur to me until yesterday. I was going back to old catalog vids that I had not done an episode 3 of MMA. I've been so focused on a number of other projects I was doing on my channel that I didn't realize. I was like, oh my gosh, I did not do another video on the flaws. I did No Mas Vale Tudo, which dealt with, the loss of the true mixed martial arts. There was no hybrid martial arts. Okay, we didn't get into that. Then just grappling only, right? So I was trying to figure out if I wanted to make this specific video episode 3 or 4, but I'm like, let me go ahead and make episode 3. It's relatively recent, but I think it's applicable because the Ronda Rousey effect was a very real effect. Okay, what is the Ronda Rousey effect? Well, you had you had a literal handful of aspects that went into it. Right? Why was Ronda Rousey so built up? Why was she so important to UFC in a plethora of regards? Number one, Ronda Rousey was what I call the MMA purist, the hardcore underground MMA. The guys are, yeah. She represented them. She represented what they deemed to be true MMA. Right? Remember, I talked about grappling only. I talked about the loss of Vale Tudo. Okay, so these MMA fanboys, these hardcore fanboys, wanted this, wrestling, grappling, judo to be superior to striking because boxing is boring and it's pussified and all that. And Ronda Rousey just dominating, like, yeah. So you had that aspect. Two, invincibility. The thing is, along with those, those underground, them hardcore, you had the casual MMA. Those who were the superficial, like, we got a name, she's undefeatable, and they're looking for the next, invincible person. They did this. You see the effect. You see it. You know, you know, Royce Gracie. People say Royce Gracie. Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz. John Bones Jones, Quentin Rampage Jackson, George St. Pierre, GSP, Conor McGregor at one point, John Bones Jones, yeah, Khabib Nurmagomedov currently. They're looking for invincibility. The casuals want somebody to rally behind. Always they want that one person when it comes to combat sports. Iron Mike Tyson, Big George Foreman. The list goes on and on. I can name many legends in boxing history. That's what they want, right? Number 3, business. She was inorganically manufactured. I'm not dismissing the lady's, skills and whatever. Ronda, especially she's one of my again, I'm objective about Ronda. She's one of my top 10 favorite pro wrestlers, in history all time. So it's not I dislike her. It's that I dislike the manufactured hype that occurred with the UFC. They had this poster girl that they could go off of. This is what MMA is about. 4, the lack of evolution. Okay, that was the Ronda Rousey effect. Ronda Rousey was almost like a validation that we don't actually have to be true to what we describe as MMA. MMA, you don't need striking. Fuck actual striking, right? Fuck actual skills. You can be a grappler and just learn how to do a little bit of punches and a little bit of kicks, and you're good. You don't need those disciplines. You don't actually need to be able to know proper footwork. You don't actually need to know proper head work. You don't need head movement. You don't need any of that. You could be a complete amateur and come out here and just own because your grappling and your wrestling's over everything. Even Khabib doesn't do that mess. And he focuses on grappling. George St. Pierre doesn't do that mess and he focuses on grappling. So, you have people out here that didn't realize, even though MMA had been evolving, but again, it goes into the 5th point, women's evolution. See, what people didn't realize is that For men, it had been around for like 2 decades, damn near, right? Men's MMA. So the evolution was gradual. Women's, no, it was quick because so many more players were introduced, and you had so many more folks, you know, growing up with it. So that's how it worked. But you had all of this combination of stuff, right? And the Ronda Rousey effect had both negative and positive effects on MMA as a whole. You know, uh, it showcased where the flaws of people's mentalities towards MMA was. It showcased people's um, lack of understanding what the true nature of MMA is. It showcased that people have such a simplistic view of fighters. They were talking about how, oh, boxing's not the way that many people view MMA viewed. This is the positive benefit of the Ronda Rousey effect of how she went down. The way that people viewed MMA was honestly even more limited than it was boxing. You don't just come out here and think you can wrestle. And in fact, men's MMA was already been developed past that, but you still had, a lot of the casuals and a lot of the hardcores, not real MMA guys like myself, fans like myself who are like, yo, we want to see actual high level skills. No, no, no. The hardcore guys were just holding out that their vision, of what MMA is was not wrong. Then the casuals are like, they just see this dominant force. So they're like a dominant force that they can understand, that they can relate to. Because again, Ronda Rousey, I've said this about her. She's a judo practitioner, but she's not a true judoka. No disrespect to her. She's phenomenal. She's elite at what she does, but her heart and soul wasn't into judo like that. Okay? She didn't live and breathe as a fighter like that. Doesn't mean she ain't about that life. It just means her mindset wasn't completely there. See what I'm saying? Because for one, if she was, she wouldn't be trying to just out here using amateur striking. I mean, not even amateur striking. It was noobish striking. She had noobish footwork. Just oh my gosh. Someone need to seriously work with her, because you could tell she had been working on, like, if you watch her in the WWE, you could tell she actually worked on striking, like her body positioning and stuff. Even though they weren't straight up throwing hands like that, like you could see she focused on actual training. Like she's gotten significantly better. It's obvious in her movements and stuff. She looks phenomenal in the ring in WWE. You know what I'm saying? So there is that. Folks didn't understand what the true nature of MMA was. You know, you get guys like John Bones Jones and Conor McGregor. You look at them and they're like, man, they doing these wild stuff. Anderson Spider Silverman, you're like, man, that ain't me normal. You look at somebody like Ronda Rousey, a lot of people are like, yeah, that could be me. You look at even Khabib, a lot of people are like, man, Khabib's a machine. I can't beat him. But some of these other cats, Max Holloway, yeah, that could be me. Frankie Edgar, yeah, that could be me. Dog, that's not how it works. That's not how this works. You need to be adaptable. You need to, have a multidisciplinary system. Part of the reason that Khabib was able to beat Conor is because Khabib actually did some kind of striking. He actually submitted. Even though he mainly stays to his form of grappling and mauling, Conor was shutting his shit down so much with the takedown defense that he had to adjust. See what I'm saying? What's another example? Nate Diaz forced Conor to adjust. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to provide yourself with the most tools in the toolbox. That's why a lot of people consider John Bones Jones to be the GOAT, the greatest of all time, because John Jones literally has so many tools in the toolbox for any given time that he can bust it out. If he needs a mallet, if he needs a chisel, if he needs pliers, if he needs a saw, if he needs a hammer, if he needs doggone a drill, it doesn't matter. Shoot, he'll pull out a knife if he needs to. He'll pull out a torch if he needs to. Whatever the case may be, he got it. So that's the thing with the Ronda Rousey effect, is that people, it was sobering for a lot of folks who weren't like myself, who are fans of the actual MMA. They were fans of specific stuff. So with her, not only just once to Holly Holm, but once again, I believe to Amanda Nunes, it showed that, oh, I can't just bully and overpower people. Even though Khabib, I still say he overpowers people at the lightweight division. Khabib has other skills he brings to the table. Ronda got lucky in a couple of those bouts, like with the 14-second armbar. Homegirl rushed into her. Ronda instinctively reacted and got her. See what I'm saying? Ronda was not able to evolve with the times, and that's the times left her by. See what I'm saying? So, with all that being said, the Ronda Rousey effect on MMA, the lead up into it was just everything wrong with MMA, but the post effect was everything that was right about MMA. And I think it also caused her to go to WWE, and I couldn't think of a better career choice because she became one of my top 10 favorite. Early on, I tried to push it off and like, let me see, but I loved her. I love her as a pro wrestler. And if she just so decides she doesn't want to come back, cool. But I would love it. And many of her, she has a lot of fans who would love to see her back in that ring. Unexpected Wonder, go like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on this matter. And what other perspectives do you have? If there's any other topics that you would like me to discuss, I shall do so. And until next time, y'all, have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.